What is up, and welcome back to another episode of the Girl Gainz podcast. I'm Amber P,
I'm Alexis Nicole.
and our brains are fried.
Retired.
We're tired, y'all. we're doing our absolute best. So today is going to be an Ask the Girl Gainz. We put up some boxes. We're gonna answer a few questions, and we're gonna get on with our day. Alexis, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Yep.
So, as far as like a prep update, we're like 4.5 weeks out at this point. That's wild. Um, and the scale's been playing games. So, we've been doing the hit a new low, bump up a pound and a half or 2 pounds, slowly over the next couple of days, trickle back down. I send my coach photos every day at this point, especially um, since we went from 12 weeks out to 8 weeks out in a day. Um, we switched to photos every day just to make sure that things were tracking how we want them to. Um, which is good because every day, like the photos look better. So while the scale is bouncing up and down, like it's not like my photos look a little worse and then they look better. They're improving consistently,
Mhm.
um, which is always a mind game because as much as we say don't focus on the scale, it is a variable and it's a very tangible number.
Yeah,
So it's hard not to get annoyed with it. Um,
it's a tool. We need it.
Yeah. So, um, Martin's been like looking at my check-ins, or like this morning he watched me pose in person, um, and like agrees that clearly it's better. Boss agrees that it's better. I feel leaner and tighter. We're just playing the balance game.
Mhm.
And then also, your girl can't breathe in Houston. So,
It's
um,
thick out there.
yeah, backstory, I had exercise-induced asthma as a kid, like playing soccer, running track, I always had an inhaler, and then slowly I was able to, like they like to say that you grow out of it, and I think I did in that climate. I felt like if you have asthma, to me, the worst feeling is, like, the burning lungs feeling, and then,
Mm.
um, when you can't catch your breath, like, it'll make you a little panicky. Because like, imagine not being able to breathe. So that's what it feels like, and
Yeah.
I felt some of it last year, and I was able to, like, manage through it in Houston or in Florida. Um, Houston is another beast with the humidity, and it's, like yesterday, I had, a dentist appointment, I also got a mouth guard because I've been grinding my teeth. Um, I'm a hot mess.
Just got a lot happening right now.
Yeah,
Mouth guard
and
inhalers.
when I was coming back from the dentist, it was like 10:15 in the morning and it was 88 degrees per my car. Yeah. So it's hot
Child.
and humid. It's like you walk out into a sauna hot box. Um, which is it doesn't feel bad. I like the heat. Um,
We just want to breathe.
yeah, I just want to be able to breathe.
Yeah,
So
that's fair.
today will be my first day using the inhaler.
Hmm.
Um, and we'll just do it pre-training.
Yeah, because yeah, that's hardcore. That's next level.
Yeah.
Um, I y'all know now I'm not doing DC per me just simply not being ready. A little backstory: before the week that was Pittsburgh, coach made me take a deload because my body was just inflamed, not having it. Took a deload, came back from Pittsburgh. We were pushing up cardio, dropped food, and every day my weight just kept going up and up and up and up and up. Tried for 2 weeks. And finally, my coach was like, "No, you're getting worse. Like something's not right." So she gave me more food, pulled my cardio down, and now my body is responding. Science, body, just all over the place. So while I was very disappointed that I wasn't able to do DC Pro, first of all, I want to say thank you so much to everybody who was like excited to see me compete and was actually going to the show. But y'all just got to understand when you've done this quite a few times and you have very specific goals, I am not lean enough because I got some comments saying, "Oh, but you look so good." I never said I look bad. I never said I look bad, and I don't think I look bad. I'm not stage lean.
Yeah.
It's that simple. So, like, the more you have to learn the difference between, okay, this person looks good versus this person looks stage lean. So it's just a matter of keep digging, keep going, keep dieting, keep cardio, and just keep checking the boxes. And then, like, once my body is looking like, okay, we're ready, then we'll jump on stage. I understand for athletes who are, national competitors, it's a different ball game because you don't have as many shows. However, when you are a pro, especially bikini show pros, there's shows every weekend basically. So, that's the update on that. We gonna keep on pushing through. I'm tired. My strength is gone. Like nothing.
See, my strength is actually it's interesting because my strength is very much there.
Mhm.
One, I'm battling through can't breathe, so in between
Yeah.
sets is taking way longer. Hopefully that's improved today. And then also the energy is in the tank,
Mm.
which that's interesting. Like energy's down, but strength is still there.
Yeah.
So it's like I know I can move the weight. I know I can get the most out of the exercise. I just have to kind of pep talk myself into every set. Um, and I posted a reel about it recently, and it's like it's very much where I'm at right now. Like
Yeah.
you have to make it happen. Um,
Mhm.
there's not really an option, so you figure it out. But sometimes it's just like, okay, I'm gonna do this set. Okay, you survive that set. It's like, okay, I'm gonna do another set, get through that exercise, and it's like, okay, next exercise, one set.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
make it all happen. And then you leave and you feel good, but like going from exercise to exercise can feel like a huge
Torture.
task.
Yeah, torture. See, I'm the opposite. I definitely could tell that my energy has gone up a little bit because my food went up. And so on Sunday when I went to train, like I was hyped. I was like, yeah, this is gonna be a good session. I did my little shoulder press and I was like, this is heavy. I was like, this is only like 20 pounds. Why does this feel so heavy? So I was like, okay, yeah. And that's the tricky thing too. And y'all will feel that when you start your reverse. Like as soon as because we get food in us and we think we feel good, it's like, oh yeah, let me go crush it in the gym. And you start trying to move weight, and it's like, just kidding.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll hit like highs and lows. So yesterday was meant I'm getting a little like congestion. I mowed the grass. I probably shouldn't have done that, but I wanted to. So
Yeah,
Martin put them on.
that just click. Girl, you can't breathe and you outside mowing the grass.
So I can't breathe under like higher exertion. So I don't
Okay.
like it's in the gym
I
when
got
like the humidity's high
no
midday.
circulation.
Mowing the grass I did decently.
Hmm.
Um, one, I wanted to get tan, and two, which I did. If you look, I have tan lines.
Oh, look at her. Come
I
on,
got a little
Melanie.
burned, but
Come on,
I
Mel.
did wear I did wear sunscreen on my face.
Yes, thank you so much.
Also, they told me Botox lasts longer if you wear SPF, so I'll do it.
Hmm.
Um, but
Well, that makes her put her SPF on. Got it.
um, let's see. Oh, and like I really like, especially in prep, um, like check markable tasks. So like mowing the grass was really satisfying to me, and I used it for my cardio, burned way more calories than what I do during cardio. But hustling the lawnmower and being out in the sun so much definitely caused some inflammation. So
Mm,
the last 2 days, I was up kind of just from that.
yeah.
And so yesterday I took I did cardio in the morning and then took a rest day. So like I didn't go anywhere from the house really. Um, and my weight came down today. Um, In the morning, I was very much a slug. Like, I've been doing a cross stitch. If you guys don't know what that is, you basically like use needle and thread and like stitch a pattern onto canvas. And I like to do that. But I did that for like until like 12 yesterday morning. And
Mm,
then I hit like a high. I caught it like a second wind.
yeah.
And so I like got to cleaning, organized the Tupperware in the kitchen, did the dishes, mopped the floor, all that, just like in the kitchen area, not the entire
Yeah.
house. But it took up like couple hours for me. Um, and that was good movement, and it like made me feel
Hmm.
tasky. And then I got body work later in the day. Did an Epsom salt bath with, y'all, I don't like baths.
Correct.
Um, they do work, they're very good for recovery. They're not enjoyable while I'm in the bath at all to me.
I have to do
Um,
it tonight. I have body work later, and I'm like, ugh,
but I
okay.
was like, the inflammation was making me crazy. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do all the things, kept my water high and hit a low today. So I'm 153.0 pounds. Um, we're shooting for at least 145 by peak week. So I've got what, 5, 6, 7, 8 more pounds to go before we leave for Portugal. I would like a little bit more than that. I do have more muscle. My stage weight last year was about 146, but if we're a little leaner with more muscle, I think that would pay off better in the long run. So I'm going to try to keep grasp of where we have now and keep going.
Mhm.
Side note, I got this chopstick
Mhm.
and they had like three different colors, like a darker red. It's chopstick, but it has pigment. Um, a darker red, a clear, which I wasn't sure how clear lip chapstick would go on. So I got this color, but it's like
It's a
very
nippy chapstick for people who are just watching, not looking.
1996.
Not 96. That's very specific.
I mean, I remember back to there. And I know I had chapstick like that. I'm not sure how I like the color or not because it's very, like, shiny, light pink. You
Yeah.
know what I'm talking about,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
early 2000s. And I like it, but I also feel old.
Well, we don't want you feeling older than you are. That is hilarious. I was getting ready to say something. I don't know. Whatever.
Sorry, I babbled.
No, no, you're fine. It's always a good babble. I don't mind. What was it? It was something very relevant. I don't know. Whatever. Let's let's answer some questions. Okay. Intensity versus burnout, body, mind. Well, for the body, intensity and burnout are not the same for the body. So, like intensity lasts for a short period of time, right? But if your body is burned out, you're just going to feel just like tired, worn out all the time.
Yeah, usually, like, I think if you're burned out, you can't reach your normal intensity.
Mhm. Mhm. You don't have it in you.
They're not, like, congruent by any
Yeah.
means.
Mhm.
But in a prep, you need to keep your intensity as high as possible the entire time.
Mhm.
And if you start noticing that you cannot, then you can start like assessing areas. Sometimes intensity falls a little bit if you're too depleted at the end of prep. Sometimes it
Yeah.
just comes with the territory. But it shouldn't be falling at 6 weeks out.
No, you just getting
Like
started.
I'm talking like last 2, maybe 3 weeks. You're
Yeah.
like, ugh, it's hard for me to push now.
Right. Like even like my strength is down, but I know what to do. Like I slow everything down because when I slow it down, I can still engage it. I still feel it. So there's different ways to hit the intensity.
And even when your weight goes down in the gym, you can still keep intensity high. You just do
Yep,
that. You find other ways to push the intensity.
that's it. And then like with the mind, that's the thing. Burnout for the mind. I know how this goes. When your body's tired, you can go to sleep, you can rest it. When your mind is tired, mental burnout is worse because your mind is just going and going and going and going and going all the time. And listen, I don't have no remedy for it. I pray my way through, and sometimes I have to cry and hit the reset. I tell you what does help me when I feel like that. Go to sleep. For me, most of the time when my mind starts acting a fool, like the other day, I was not well, and Lo was kind of looking at me like, "Lay your ass down," and that's exactly what I did. And I pushed it off for so long, and I said, "Screw it, I'm gonna take a nap," and I felt like a new person. I know what I was gonna say yesterday. I
This is how
hit
our brain works.
yesterday. I got 15K steps in yesterday.
Mm.
And the reason being is because so in the morning, I go for a walk around my neighborhood. I do my 30 minutes. I do my cardio, but my task yesterday, we have vinyl floors all throughout the house. On the bottom floor, I swept, I steam mopped, and I did the dishes, and then I went over to my little raggedy pantry because my family just be shoving stuff all over the place with no order, no nothing. And I reorganized the entire pantry. I pulled everything out, but you know what happened when I pulled everything out, right? I lost my energy.
Yep.
So I was like, "Oh no." So I just went and I sat for a little bit. I took like a 15-minute like power nap, then I got up and I finished the rest of it. But like I said all that to say that's something that I'm very cognizant of now, especially because I'm home more than I've ever been in prep. So making sure that I go outside to walk, making sure that I'm doing tasks because my body don't want to do nothing. It's like
Yeah.
sit down, be still. But yeah.
Yeah,
That
and I think, like, I don't have a step count per my coach, um, but, like, my clients listening know the majority of them have a step count,
yeah.
except my UK girl who walks everywhere because that's their culture. I'm like, "Sit down." But most people
Yeah.
I need them to be conscious of their movement. And so even for me, I do shoot for like 8 to 10,000 steps. Um, and usually I've gotten it down now to where I don't necessarily have to go on many walks.
Yeah.
But I can like stay moving at the house. I'll like do a
Mhm.
bunch of laundry, organize the Tupperware, like whatever I need to do to stay moving.
Yeah.
Um, find tasks to do, and every day doesn't need to be that. Like yesterday I didn't hit that. I sat most of the day. I think I maybe hit 6K just from cleaning the kitchen.
Yeah.
But your body, as you deplete its energy source, which is fat, your body is going to try to find ways to conserve that energy. That is why your energy falls. That's why you don't feel motivated to do
Mhm.
XYZ and you still have to do it. Your body is naturally like we're fighting against what's natural and what your body deems as safe. So that's why it downregulates you. And then if you push against that, you can improve, you can keep losing body fat. But then you also get into the scenario where Amber was, where you have to balance that too. So, and really where I was pushing too hard, doing too many things, inflaming my body too much. And my body was like, "Ah." So
Mhm.
you have to push past the natural barriers to an extent, but don't go too far and make your because your body will fight you back if you're going too hard too fast.
Yeah. That's something I have yet to figure out. I'm like, "What's too much? I'm just living my life." Like,
It's
what's
hard, and, like, that's why you have someone overseeing, and that's why it's hard to do things completely on your own and, like, self-coach, because I have a coach, and even so, Martin's like, "Okay, well, your weight's up because you shouldn't be mowing the freaking grass for 2 hours,"
Mhm.
and, like, coming in I was like, "It's an electric lawnmower." So
Right.
once the battery dies, we have 2 batteries, so I could, like, switch them out and
Mhm.
get, like, half the yard mowed, and then we have a big backyard, and then I have to charge them, but I was, like, didn't want to lose that motivation, so then when they were charged, I could finish the lawn.
Yeah.
So I'm, like, inside finding laundry to do, like, organizing, washing blankets, like, because I was constantly moving. I got, like, 23,000 steps that day.
Nuts. Yeah.
And then the next day, I'm like, "Why am I up 2 pounds?"
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. And see, and that's the thing for me because I'm so aware now that my lifestyle is just completely different. So I'm like, you got to keep moving, you got to keep going, you got to do more. But I feel like now I'm doing more now. I think because I'm so cautious about it to the point that I feel like this is like sabotaging me a
Yeah,
little bit.
it can be counterintuitive, and it's hard to find that balance, and that's why having someone help oversee or give you
Mhm.
feedback or, like, you just running things by them, they can kinda bring you back to
Mhm.
reality and real expectations and be like, "Okay, well, you're doing XYZ, this is why this is not working, or this is why you're responding a
Yeah.
certain way." Um, I was gonna say something else, and I don't remember.
Or it was like before Pittsburgh when I had sent you my posing. I was like, I feel a little crazy. You're like, you were inflamed. Like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, okay, thank you for confirming that I'm not out of my mind because sometimes like I have to wrestle with myself. I'm like, okay, is this just what prep is? Or am I really like not okay? Like I was legit not okay. And again, it just
Oh,
takes time to
the
learn
other thing
that.
I was gonna say is, like, as you evolve, we always say every prep is different, every season is different, and as you evolve and your body accommodates, you're gonna respond differently every time.
Mhm.
So, like, one of the things where when I've been playing this up and down game for like 2 weeks. I'll hit a low, I'll bump up, like over a couple days kind of creep back down and then hit another low and bump back up. If that happens tomorrow, I'm going to lose my mind.
Mm.
But
That's been my whole prep.
so earlier this week, I was like running it by Martin and like we're doing XYZ, like this is the best that I can figure out. And I was getting frustrated because I'm like, you guys know that I used to wake up at 2:30 in the morning, do an hour of cardio, get on the
Same
treadmill, get some of
doing.
my steps,
Mhm.
go to work for 12 or 13 hours, come home, walk some more, get on the bike, go to bed at 10:30,
Running.
wake up and do it again. So I'm like, what I'm doing now is not even close to that.
Nothing. Light work.
And if I could do that, like
Why
right,
isn't it
like
working
this
now?
prep, I've definitely felt more body aches than any prep. But part of it is I'm way more aware of what to expect, what I'm feeling. And
Mhm.
the other part is like at that point, my body was functioning because it's the only way that it knew how to function. Like
Right.
it was constantly in fight or flight,
Yep.
but it was accommodated to that. But I didn't grow as well. I didn't recover as well. I was constantly like mediocre as far as what my potential was,
Mhm.
versus now I can rest fully. So, like,
Mhm.
if I'm under recovered, I feel it way more because I know what recovered feels like.
Yeah.
And back then, I didn't know what recovered felt like. So, like, the perception was way different then. So,
That's such a good point.
so
That's
like now, I'm like, I'll get annoyed. So I'm like, I used to be able to do way more than this. Well, one, I'm older,
Mhm.
and two, my body has been under the weights for longer, so you're gonna have a little bit more aches and creaks. But
Mhm.
also, the perception is different. Like, I'll kick myself, and I'm like, I could have gotten more sleep, but I stayed up too late last night. Where
Yeah.
in the past, it was like there was no way to get more sleep, so it wasn't even something that I worried about. Because I'm like, I know I got the 4 hours that was max that I could get.
Yeah, no, that's such a good point. I've never even thought about it in that manner because, like, yeah, same thing. I'm like, man, I'd be up in the salon 9, 10 hours just running it, running it, running it. And now I'm just kind of like, I'm not doing that to my body. That was actually hurting my body. But then when I think about what we looked like then versus now, we got way more muscle.
Yeah. Which takes more, requires more recovery, like,
Yeah.
all the variables change over time, so you can't expect the way you responded one time to happen again in the future.
And that's been the hardest part for me with this prep because I'm like, I ain't never gone through anything like this before. But yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see. Woo, 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 woo. The walk. It's key, but so tough. What no nos have you seen? And yeses, break it down. I think the one thing that I see with the walk is, first of all, if you're just not good at walking, don't try to do anything extra. That's always my key advice. Like, if you can't walk, make it basic, make it boring.
Extremely simple, yeah, I
Simple.
think the thing that most so, recently, there's been an uptick in the pivot when you're walking.
Mm,
Everyone wants to do the pivot. If you can't walk normal, we don't need to be adding the pivot because it looks like you're trying to pivot, and the whole point of the pivot is to make it look natural.
yeah.
It's supposed to look like it smooths it out if you're confident in it and it feels good.
Hmm.
Everyone doesn't need to pivot. Half the time I don't. It depends on what the stage flooring is. If it's rubber, there ain't no way I'm trying to pivot.
Yeah.
Um, and I think people way overthink it. So when I'm teaching it, really the most important thing is it needs to come across confident. It
Hmm.
doesn't even need to be technically correct. It needs to look confident from your chest up. If you're thinking about it, usually your face shows it, then your body follows and it's stiff or it's awkward. Um, and that's way worse trying to do it technically correct and looking awkward than flowing.
Hmm.
And if you look at the walk, it's like, ugh,
Yeah.
there's a lot of bikini and wellness pros that can't walk.
Can't walk to save their
And
life.
y'all don't notice it because they fake it till they make it.
Hmm. I had a posing client this weekend at the gym. And so, like, the first session was footwork, breaking it down, front and back pose. And then this time we were actually focusing on walking. And it was, I mean, giving robot. And I said, okay, show me how you normally walk. And she showed me, I said, "I'd rather you walk like that than this."
Yeah, and walk your normal and pick your chest up.
Pick your
Like,
chest up. Pick your chest up, because I
give
think
me a little bit of Princess Diaries type,
yeah.
like, posture, and
Yes.
then just roll.
Yeah, because I could see her thinking it through so much, and she was like this. I said, "Nah, baby, that's not gonna work." I was just like, "No, walk how you normally walk, hold your chest up," and she was golden, good to go. What training? What is training and nutrition like in the beginning stages of bikini with years of fitness experience? So here's the thing, and I mean this respectfully. Your fitness experience is just that. Because I know a lot of people come from, oh, I've been training for this long, or oh, I'm a personal trainer. Congratulations. That just means you know how to, you know the exercises, but
Yeah,
that doesn't translate to bodybuilding. So in the beginning phases, it's just basically you learning the lifestyle of whatever your division is.
and I
I
think
see.
it varies. I've had a lot of personal trainers that want to do a show,
Mhm.
and from my experience, that is the biggest learning curve because
I
we are
feel like
not.
they're harder.
Yeah, and it's
They're
not.
harder.
We want to prioritize health, but it is not a health-based sport.
Mhm,
They're very different in terms of that.
mhm.
I don't care that you like to eat Greek yogurt. We ain't putting Greek
Not
yogurt in
doing
your
that.
diet if it's not appropriate for the fat loss.
Mhm,
Like, it's just we're not doing it. You may or may not get red meat. Like, that is bodybuilding. And you can't always keep your fats above X number that you need, like, or that you think is an appropriate number for yourself. That's great for lifestyle, very different. And most personal trainers or just general people who like to train themselves are from a lifestyle based background. Because if you haven't body built, there was no reason or need to extremely diet.
right.
But it's an extreme sport. And I think a lot of like the training style
Mhm,
still has to change because you're targeting certain muscles, especially bikini, very specific muscles that you're trying to grow
mhm,
and not grow anything else. So we're not doing like a lot of top bikini pros don't really train back anymore. You might see them doing it during their prep and it's extremely lightweight just to engage and burn calories. Like
I
it's
feel
not,
it.
they're not trying to grow lats
I feel
in
like
the pro level. Like
yeah. I feel like, "Why am I even doing this?" But I whatever. I one athlete that was with me for a little bit, she was a personal trainer, and I was like, "What have you been doing for, just, like, glute training?" And she had, like, 8 exercises. I said, "Ma'am, if you're able to do 8
you're not
exercises,
training hard
you're
enough.
not training hard enough." I said, "No, we're breaking that thing down. We're doing these 4." She's like, "Just 4?" I was like, "Yeah, and I want you to push it and then get back to me." And then the next week, she's like, "Yep, okay, I see, I see." I was just like, "Yeah, no," and that's the tricky part too. It's easier when you don't have that background. I personally feel and get into bodybuilding
Because you
versus
can learn from scratch.
yeah, yeah. It's just you don't have to break some bad habits. Okay, let me go to where's Alexa? Training styles for wellness versus bikini. I mean, Alexis is training legs every time she's in the gym. I'm not. I'm just glute shoulders, maybe a back pump, glute shoulders.
Yeah, so I would say like the style, you still need to be pushing intensity.
Yeah,
Especially we have mostly amateurs that listen. You need to grow probably everything per your division.
push it.
But bikini and wellness tend to top out their upper body about the same time. Like the upper bodies are supposed to be the same.
Mhm.
I know that you see a lot of wellness girls with large upper bodies. Some of them have come from larger divisions like figure and women's physique. And then some of it is we do a lot of compound movements. We hold, I mean, when we're training legs every day that we're in the gym,
Yeah.
a lot of those exercises we're holding and stabilizing dumbbells or barbells with our hands, which is our upper body.
Mhm.
Personally, we pulled that out because my upper body grows like a weed. And it's helped downsize my shoulders. But depending on genetics, depending on what PEDs you're deciding are a good idea, depending on how much time you're willing to lay off the training, like some people just are, they love training upper body, and that's fine, but it might not match your division. Um, those tend to top out pretty quickly. Um, I think the body types are the biggest difference.
Yeah.
Those who are in wellness are usually there because their legs grow dominantly the most, or just easily. So, like, personally, if I wanted to stay in bikini, we were going to have to not train my legs for a while and let those downsides, like I'm doing up right now with my upper body. But those who typically are successful in bikini take a little longer to put muscle on, which is totally fine because you don't want to overgrow it and you can very easily. And then I'd say bikini as a whole physique very much more quickly gets to a point where you have to sculpt and like be very particular. And like I train hams and glutes really at all right now. That's all I train. My quads get mixed in on some of the exercises because it's
Right.
impossible not to have them in the mix.
Yeah.
Um, but bikini, like I can still push weight, and bikini will very quickly get to where like you can't put more than 4 plates on a leg press. Like you're really focusing on contraction and targeting exactly the muscle that you want. Um, so I'd say like bikini maxes out a little faster.
Yeah. And it's that was my struggle all of 2024. I just felt so lost in the gym because I literally said this on my story earlier. I don't feel like I'm at a place to where I have maxed out in bikini where I'm too muscular, but I also understand that because I am taller, because I do have muscle, and because my muscle bellies pop, I'm probably going to look a little bit bigger than the average girl. So it's a matter of keeping that in mind, but then also you have to respect your body and make sure that you are balanced, right? That's the other thing with bikini, it's a balance game. And so, like, now when I train shoulders, I time myself. I don't let myself go over 25 minutes because if I'm going over 25 minutes, I'm doing too much. Like some girls, like, can I come train shoulders with you? I said no because it's not fun. I'm literally just getting a little bit of flow, and that's that. Now with my glutes, yeah, I'm pushing those bad boys as hard as I can, and once I finally get on stage and get an idea of what they look like, because someone had made a comment to me a few days ago, it was like, "Oh, I think your glutes are overpowering." I was like,
Well, there's body fat back there still.
"There's still body fat back there," but then I told myself, "Don't stress yourself out." Don't stress yourself out. But you do get to a point where it's just sculpting, and the one thing that drives me absolutely insane with people who aren't bodybuilders or even new people is like, "Oh, I just want to sculpt." If you don't have muscle, there's nothing to sculpt.
Yeah, like toning means build muscle, lose fat.
Like I don't I just and it's like you think we just accidentally got jacked. This was very intentional. It's like you're not gonna get Jack married just from looking at 5 pounds of dumbbells. I promise. Let's see. Do you and Amber want kids? How did you make this decision with bodybuilding? Yes, I do want kids. The thing is, for me, it wasn't a matter of making the decision around bodybuilding. I'm a firm believer that all things work together for the good. Y'all know I'm a God girl all day. And I had this moment when I got upset with myself because I felt like I ruined my life. Like I waited too late to have kids. But then when I think back on all the stuff that my husband and I have been through in the past 3 years, we ain't had no business being nobody's parents. Okay? Because we won't right. So therefore, if we would have had kids, we probably would have been toxic to them and pass on some generational curses. So in my mind, bodybuilding is a blessing for me because if I hadn't been bodybuilding, we probably would have had kids and we probably honestly would have been divorced by now. I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Um, I do want kids. Um, I don't have a timeline for when to have
Yeah.
them, but I've also in the last year or so decided that like bodybuilding won't keep me from that next stage.
100%.
So when it's an appropriate time to have them, bodybuilding will go to the side.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm 30, so I have time. I don't have 10 years, but I'm also not pressed to have them this year.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing too, like, why I started getting a little bit concerned is because I am 36. I will be 37 this year. So, of course, I understand, like, hey, girl. However, outside of bodybuilding, we work really hard to keep ourselves healthy. I go to my OB appointments, everything looks good, but I think what we really need to do is stop letting the world and society tell you what your timeline is. If you could let go of that, you will have a much better perspective as far as what works for you in your life.
Yeah, and if you feel called to do something
Yeah.
and your life is allowing it, don't put kids off for bodybuilding.
No,
Like, I
never.
don't think anyone should do that, even at the highest level, if that's important to you, because as women, we are on a timeline of
Yeah.
some sort. So the stage is always there. You can try to come back later.
Mhm.
Um, but I would hate for you to regret when you're 42 that you hadn't started a family yet because
Yeah.
you were shooting for this goal. And it can be hard when you have multiple goals that take an immense amount of energy and focus and time.
Yeah.
But the truth is that not everything is compatible within each other. So then you have to start weighing what's more important to you.
Absolutely. And especially like, you have to talk to your spouse as well because I know Murillo, he's wanted kids for years, but he finally said the other day, so at night I call it our old people walk. We go walk the neighborhood. Like we have old people in our neighborhood and they're so cute. We love them. But he said that, I'm glad now that we didn't have kids when we did because it wouldn't have been good. And I was like, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. But I have to honor my husband and it's selfish to keep saying, "Oh, let me compete" when I know he wants to be a father. That's not you gotta, but we've talked about it, and depending on how this season goes, like if it's looking like I'm competitive, then okay, cool, I'll go one more. But if I'm not competitive, I'm getting off stage and I got to start having kids. Cuz like what like to me I'm like, well, what's the point, there's no point in keep going if I'm not looking like I'm competitive, especially at my age. And then this is another question that will just back that up. Not making prep your entire identity. I know neither of y'all have kids, but something's got to give. Here's the thing, don't make anything your identity, okay? Because I can't tell you how many clients I had in salon where they're like, I'm a mom, I'm a mom, I'm a mom. And then that kid graduates and they're looking like Boo Boo the Fool because they've made that their sole identity.
Yeah, you're still your person, but also to me that reads like something's got to give with us. Like it almost seems like they
Yeah.
think we prep as our own identity, and you clearly don't know who we are.
You don't know us like that
Yeah,
at all. If that was your intention, sweetheart, you don't know us, so fall back. But if you meant it in a different way,
yeah, and I mean we agree with you.
yeah.
Amber and I both have significant other things other than just prepping in our lives. We have our own businesses. We both are posing coaches. Yes, they're within the industry of bodybuilding, but that doesn't make prep our own identity.
Yeah,
I
no.
still go on vacations of my own. I still go and see my family.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it's a misconception, and that's where amateurs tend to think coming out of the gate, like, this is all I can do. I can only do prep. I can't go to the baby shower. I can't
Yeah.
go to the family function because I don't want to derail myself. And you can do both. We do both. We still go to things. Sometimes we're depleted and just don't want to, but
Yeah.
that happens to people who have never bodybuilded either.
For sure, for sure. And that's why, like, whenever I do vlog, I like to show that other stuff because the reason why a lot of people feel like that is because that's the only thing you see on social media. You don't
Yeah,
see the back
and
end.
y'all, especially at this point in day and age and all that fun stuff, social media is a marketing platform.
That's it.
And what's posted, especially for Amber and I, and even Martin, is what's beneficial for growing the following, for
Mhm.
growing the reach, for growing the sport. it's very much a bodybuilding platform,
Yeah.
especially for the social medias that we have. And that's true for a lot of competitors. And the
Mhm.
truth is that everyday life stuff, people don't care about as
Y'all
much,
don't care.
especially when you're in a niche sport, a niche hobby, whatever you want to
Mhm.
call it. Um, People don't want to see a reel of me get my nails done.
They don't, but also
And
that's
y'all say that you do, and then
you
nothing
don't.
happens.
You ain't checking for it because the analytics don't show it. And that's why, like right now, I've already started integrating lifestyle stuff because I'm not going to be competing for like my time is coming to an end, and so it's just kind of like, yeah, I post a physique update or just me standing there with my thumb up my butt. Everyone's like, oh yeah, but then when I'm actually talking about something that matters, it's like crickets, or it's like, oh yeah, here's me and my puppy, or just y'all don't be caring.
Yeah,
So
or you just have to get really flashy and creative with how you present the information,
mhm,
and it's still information around a topic, especially right now, that's what's the most gravitated towards is, like, people use Instagram and especially TikTok for information purposes. So, like, educational videos on a topic do really well, and the topic of my career right now is bodybuilding of some sort, so that's what you're
yeah,
gonna see.
yeah. No, it that's just the way the world works. That's just what it is. It definitely used to irritate me, but I'm like, no, you know what? That
Yeah,
that's
once I
what it
started
is.
seeing that social media is more of like a marketing tool and almost like a portfolio. Like
Mhm.
when you have even like when sponsors will come to your page and see if they're seeking out athletes or ambassadors or whatever, right now they're really more so looking at engagement rather than just following. Because one,
Absolutely.
you can buy followers, but you're not going to have the engagement, and that's how you can tell if someone's bought them.
Mhm.
100K followers and then 20K views on all your reels.
Mhm.
Like, no, those are bots. But that's a tangent. Um,
It's a good tangent though.
you can have 10K followers, but 50 or 100K views on your reels. You're reaching way more than someone with 100K that's not getting as much reach.
Absolutely.
Um, and that plays a role. So it's like a portfolio when people are coming out to seek you for business opportunities.
Mhm.
Um, so like it's fun to follow people on social media, and like I don't post anything false. I don't represent brands that I
Of
don't
course. Yeah.
use. But you're also not seeing the cranky me waking up body aches like when
Yeah.
I'm usually a morning person. I'm not trying to show
Yeah.
you negative sides that I
Yeah.
don't love, you know. That's how everyone is.
Absolutely. It's I mean, that's just the way that it works. Like it's business. Like you're your own brand, your personal brand. Like I was talking with the company and I was just kind of like, here's the deal. I don't have a lot of followers. However, my story engagement be bumping. The girls are nosy. So I learned for me, if I need to push something or whatever the case may be, if I just put it in my stories, it's going to have way more engagement versus others. So it's like you got to play the game, and you also just have to keep in mind that, hey, this is just a portion of the person's life. It's not, don't take something and think, oh, well, this is all that they do. It's like, no, there's other things happening as well. Ooh, this is a good one. Alexis probably about to go on a tangent. Poor sportsmanship, posting comparisons after loss.
Like you and the person who beat you?
Hmm.
Absolutely not. Unless it is, this is where I need to improve. Like if you're doing it in a constructive way,
Absolutely.
sure,
Ooh,
that's educational. That's helpful for you, that's helpful for other people. If you are posting, "How did this person win?"
yeah.
or "What were the judges thinking?" No, ma'am. Close your phone, go have a seat with yourself, and figure out why you lost.
Go talk to your
Because it
friend.
is almost never I've not been to every state, I've not seen every panel of judges, so I'm not gonna speak in
Sorry, I'm using the
absolutes.
bathroom.
I almost guarantee you did not lose because of politics.
No, but I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all.
Look
Not
at my
all
hair.
it's it's okay. It's okay, friend.
I washed it yesterday, and
Good.
then this is where it's at.
That's okay.
It's still wet, I probably should take it down, so we'll try.
We'll try, yeah. But real talk, some of y'all are just sore losers.
A lot.
You're just sore losers, and
And
that's what it boils down to.
if you truly have a plan, um, to go pro in the sport, or I'm just gonna let y'all enjoy this.
Take
Um,
your time.
if you have a plan, if your goal is to go pro, you best get to getting used to losing. Um, the most consistently that you're gonna win is in the amateurs in the NPC, especially if your bikini can like and if this is news to you, please go back, watch the last 3 Olympias, the last 3, Arnolds. It is not consistently the same top 10, and they are absolutely not in the same order. We've had a new, bikini pro champ Olympian and a new bikini winner at the Olympia the last every year since 2019 when I started.
Yeah, that's true. No one's
It's
repeat.
bounced it back and forth.
Yeah.
Um,
Like consecutive repeats, there hasn't been.
who who's the one who's won it twice?
Jennifer?
Jen Dory
Uh-huh.
is the only one who's won multiple times in the last 6 years, and she's
Yeah.
only won it twice.
And I don't think she won it. Did she win consecutively? Or
No,
I
she
didn't,
lost
yeah,
it, I
she
think,
lost
to
it. Yeah.
Maureen.
Marine, that's what it was. Yeah.
Um, there are bikini Olympians who win show after show after show, back to back to back to back, and then get 7th at the Olympia.
Mhm.
Like, and then there's girls who win once and get 3rd. Like, or not, that's not true, but 4th or whatever. Like,
Mhm.
the placings are all over the board. Bikini and wellness are some of the hardest conditionings to nail because
Mhm.
you get the body fat off and then you have to peak perfectly for your physique, for the criteria at the right time on stage. And
It's
that's true for
beautiful.
every division.
Yeah.
But I think coaches will agree that bikini and wellness are the hardest to peak for. Um, and if you aren't lean enough, it's going to make it even harder to peak. If you're with a new coach, it's gonna make it harder to peak.
Mhm.
If you have a new physique, let's say you've taken a year off. In the pros, is bikini, you had best plan to do multiple shows and figure out that peak. I'm still doing that, and this is my 3rd season trying to qualify for the Olympia.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have it in my mind that I'm not gonna qualify, but I also know I have more muscle. We didn't nail it every single show last year. My favorite look was at Miami. So
Mhm.
we're
Mine
going to
too.
go in with a similar peaking approach to that. Um, not pull water as hard because it makes my skin texture a little funky.
Mhm.
And we've got some plans, but we have to execute it and then see how it looks and then see if we can duplicate it. Like, I think for bikini and wellness, especially at this level, doing one show then taking off, you don't see a lot of girls do that, but there's strategy behind it. You need to make sure that 1, you figured it out, and 2, you can duplicate it. Because
Yeah.
there's some variables, stressors, your travel, just how your body's responding that are going to play in that you can't predict. So you have to have a pretty like narrowed down specific peaking that kind of tries to control almost all of those. So like for my clients, I'm like, go as early to the place of your show as you can make possible without like causing detriment. Don't take more days off from work than what you can afford because the reality is the majority of us have jobs. But please don't go Friday, especially if you're flying. God.
It's so stressful.
And
And girls
if
do
you're
that. I'm like,
driving, please don't drive Friday,
mm,
especially if it's far.
mm-mm,
Um,
don't do it. Yeah, it just it's just it's not wise. Like my thought process for this season, I'm just like, okay, I like looking at the schedule again because it's been 2 years because my physique is different. I want to do at least 3 shows because I feel like 3 shows is going to give me an idea of okay, what we're truly working with. I feel like within 3 shows, we can figure out like how to peak the new body. Because here's the thing yeah, I've had the same coach. We don't know. It's been 2 years.
yeah.
It's been 2 years. So you have to figure out that process because, again, at the pro level, any anything can happen. Any freaking thing can happen. Hey, Callie girl.
Hey, hi.
Let's see. We'll do one more, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save these for the next one because there's a lot of good ones on here. Oh crap, where'd it go? Um,
You're a good girl. Who's a good girl?
why some keep prep a secret and why suit color is a secret. Well, suit color is a secret because especially you just want it to be a surprise for show day.
Yeah, it's just exciting.
Yeah, it's just exciting.
I used to do
Well,
the same thing. I did
yeah,
it for the Olympia my first year.
yeah, it's just fun. It keeps the engagement up.
Yeah,
And then why some people keep their preps a secret. Some people might do it because they want to block the noise. It can be, I know for me sometimes, like if I just talk about like my prep and my show too much, I stress my own self out. So and then some people are like, okay, well, I'm not sure if I'm going to be ready or not. And then
yeah,
some people are just like, mind your business, like none of
yeah.
them are
Some people just
wrong.
want you in their business.
Yeah.
Um,
No one owes you anything. That's the thing with social media. People assume that because someone's posting content that you need to know everything about them. No, you don't. They don't owe you nothing.
yeah. And I think the more transparent you are, the more people expect information. I learned
Mhm.
that last year. But it's also, you got to have control over what is other people's business.
Mhm.
And I've learned that the hard way. So then when you have things come up that you don't want people to know, if everyone knows everything about your life,
Yep.
it makes it really awkward when you start holding back.
Absolutely.
Um, but you don't know anybody anything. And you don't have any rights to anybody else's business.
No.
Unless it's like if Amber's got something going on and I can sense it, I'm like, What's
What's up?
going on?"
Yeah.
Sometimes she don't always tell me, but I still, like, poke her.
Yeah.
Um, Unless it's, like, one of those people,
Yeah.
mind your business. If
Mind your
you needed to know,
business.
you would know.
Yeah. I don't know. And it's weird to me because I'm the type of person where I'm excellent at minding my own business. And also, even when someone
Not
asks,
me.
we know, we know.
No, we need the info.
Yeah. But even if someone asks me my opinion or my advice, I'm still very much so kind of like, do you really want to hear what I have to say? Or are you just looking for a yes man? I like if I don't know you that well, I'm going to hold back just simply because it's like it can just get very dicey sometimes. You know what I mean? With people, it's like you say something, they get upset. But then also on the back end of that, like if someone's not sharing something with you, so what?
Yeah, I mean, and if, like, again, if it's your close
That's
people,
different. We're not talking about close.
sometimes you do need to push them. Like, sometimes
Yeah.
they're closed down and really they should be talking.
Hmm.
Um, but
Alexis knows me. I'm an only child. I will run away from everybody, and she has to like yank me back, like, "Hey, come here, come here."
if it's not one of those people, you will know when it's your time to know, or you won't find out because it's not
Yeah,
your business.
yeah,
And I think like there's not really a gray area to that. And I think social media sometimes makes it feel like you know someone more than you do,
it does.
or you're
Oh,
closer than you are. I've definitely experienced that sometimes where I'm like, why is this person messaging me so much? And then I scroll back up and I'm like, they don't have any bad intentions. They just think we're friends and
yeah,
I think we're acquaintances. Like
yeah, yeah.
we
That
have different perspectives on this.
absolutely. This podcast has taught me that. I didn't realize that until I'm just like, yo, like this girl, like it's super like harmless. I'm like, I don't know you like that, but I'm like, Amber, you vlog, podcast, you share
Well,
stuff.
and like even perceptions on that. Like a couple Arnolds ago when we were with Krista walking around and everyone comes up like, where's Amber? And I'm like, Amber is not, we're not always together. We are together a lot,
Yeah.
especially at shows and stuff, especially when I lived in Virginia. But like,
Yes.
I, I'm here by myself today. Like,
Absolutely. That happens to me all the time. "Where's Alexis?" I'm
oh,
like,
where's Olivia? I'm like,
Yes. Yep. Uh-huh, I'll get that too." It was funny. It's fine. I love it, but,
yeah. And like, that's not like anything negative. It's just
no.
like the perception versus reality is very complicated when it comes to social media and how you're connected to people that way.
Yeah, because people really pay attention. Like, I know the people who like really rock with me because they'll say things that maybe like I mentioned it in a vlog, and the vlog's like 45 minutes, and I said it at minute 40. I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa, okay.
Yeah, yesterday I put up on my story, like, recommendations for, rental cars in Portugal,
Uh-huh.
and then one of my clients and, like, friends, but responded and was like, "Don't get a nine-seater passenger van like you did last time." And I was like, "I think I've mentioned that here once."
Here's the thing,
But
we
you're not
love
ready.
y'all. We love y'all. It's just I think sometimes on the when you're on the opposite side, when you're the person producing the content for people, like it can be kind of like jarring sometimes, like, oh snap, like you really listen because especially like when we're doing this, I just feel like I'm having a conversation with my friend. It doesn't feel
Yeah.
like work. It's not a
Sometimes I don't always
promotion.
remember what I said.
Yeah, yeah. So then people will say things. I'm like, oh yeah.
Where'd you find that out?
Right. Right. All right. So this has been going for 57 minutes. We're going to save the rest of these questions. I'll keep it a buck with y'all probably for the remainder of our preps. It's probably going to be like a ask the girl gangs type situation. We'll do some prep updates because we're just girls trying to do the best that we can. Okay.
Yeah.
So thank y'all so much for listening, and we will chat with you next week.
Bye, guys.